Most people never realize they're living someone else's schedule. Every morning starts the same. A notification pulls their attention, then another, then another. Before they know it, half the day belongs to strangers, not them. That's the trap. Nobody forces it on you. That's what makes it dangerous. It feels normal. It feels harmless. But add up a few hours a day over a few years, and the number becomes terrifying. That's why some people choose to disappear for 6 months. Not to escape reality, to finally face it. Without the noise, without the endless opinions, without the constant pressure to react. For the first time in years, they get a chance to ask a simple question. What do I actually want? Most people never ask that question because distractions answer it for them. And once the noise disappears, something unexpected happens. The excuses get quieter too. Suddenly, it's harder to blame the algorithm, harder to blame bad luck, harder to blame other people. You're left alone with your choices, and that's where real change starts.
The first month isn't exciting. In fact, it feels weird. Your brain keeps looking for stimulation. You reach for your phone and remember, there's nothing there. You finish a task and automatically look for entertainment. That's when you realize how deep the habit goes. Most people think they're in control, until they try to disconnect. Then the cravings show up. Then the boredom shows up. Then the urge to quit shows up. But if you push through it, a strange thing happens. Time starts expanding. An hour feels like an hour again. A day feels productive again. You begin focusing on one skill, one project, one goal, not 10 different things at once, just one. And that's important because extraordinary results rarely come from scattered effort. They come from concentrated effort applied consistently for months. Little by little, your focus returns, your energy returns, even your confidence starts returning because you're finally keeping promises to yourself. Then, something even stranger happens. Tasks that once felt difficult start feeling normal. 3 hours of focused work becomes routine. Learning stops feeling like a chore and starts feeling like momentum. Most people never reach this stage because they leave too early. They quit during the discomfort without realizing the discomfort was actually the doorway. Every meaningful transformation has a period where nothing feels rewarding. That's the price of building a future instead of consuming one. By month 3, the excitement is gone. The transformation still isn't visible. And that's where most people stop. My cousin hit that exact wall. There were days when he thought the whole plan was a mistake. No clients, no praise, no obvious rewards, just work every single day. From the outside, it looked like nothing was happening. But that's how real growth works. The biggest changes are usually invisible at first. Skills were improving, confidence was improving, discipline was improving. None of it looked impressive on social media, but it was real. That's the difference between looking productive and becoming productive. One gets attention, the other changes your life. And most people are so addicted to attention that they never stay long enough to experience the second one. My cousin almost quit more than once. He kept telling himself, 1 more week, then 1 more week, then 1 more week. And that decision changed everything. Looking back, the biggest breakthrough wasn't financial. It wasn't some viral success. It was the moment he stopped measuring progress by emotions. Some days he felt motivated. Some days he didn't. But the work continued anyway. That's when discipline took over. Where motivation ends, discipline begins. And that's usually the exact point where average people turn back while committed people move forward. Then the results start showing up. Not all at once, slowly. A finished project, a new opportunity, a paying client. A skill that once felt impossible suddenly feels normal. That's when everything clicks. You realize the 6 months were never about isolation, they were about ownership. Ownership of your attention, ownership of your habits, ownership of your future. When my cousin finally showed people what he'd built, nobody cared how many difficult days he had endured. They cared about the outcome. That's how the world works. Results speak louder than explanations.
Most people spend years talking about the life they want. A few disappear and quietly build it. And once you've experienced what focused effort can create over 6 months, the old way of living starts feeling like the bigger risk. Because now you've seen what happens when your attention works for you instead of against you. And that's a lesson almost nobody forgets. The funny thing is, people will call it luck. They'll assume things somehow worked out overnight. They won't see the early mornings, the missed distractions, the hundreds of hours spent learning, building, failing, and trying again. They only see the finished version. That's why proof is powerful. It doesn't argue, it doesn't explain, it simply exists. And when your work starts speaking for itself, you stop needing permission from anyone to believe in your own potential.